I am Mike in the IRC right now, or Biako on the forum, and with me is Cal. Cal, say hi.
Hello.
And we're going to do the first DBZF audio interview, and Cal has kindly agreed to be my first guest. So we're going to see how this works out, and if it goes well, then we're going to keep doing it. So, Cal, your first question is, what made you join DBZF, and what made you stick around?
I actually came to the IRC to ask a question about DBZ because on another forum we were having a contest and I didn't really know much about Dragon Ball. So came in the IRC and asked a question, got an answer. And then the reason I stayed around was because of Tim, actually. I met him in the IRC and we became, we joke around with each other a lot, but we became pretty good friends. He was a nice guy. So a few days later, I decided to go ahead and make a introduction topic, and ever since then, I've revolved around the IRC mostly, but I hit up the forums when I can.
All right. To new members joining the forum, what would you say to encourage them to?
Well, there's always something going on. I mean, right now we have the DBZF Olympics. The IRC is always open, and there's always people in here. Dragon Ball discussion never gets old with a lot of people, so I'd say that's the main reason why people stay around. And plus, we have the general discussion area, which is where most of us stay at home. It's a well-rounded forum, really. I mean, there's always activity. The best thing about the forum is that they have active administrators. A lot of forums, when the admins stop coming, so do all the members because nothing can change. But we don't really have that problem, so that's definitely a plus too.
All right. Question three is, what is your favorite section of DBZF and why?
Probably deep discussion. That's because that's really one of the only places I think I can make well thought out posts usually. Probably that, because if I'm in a DBZ section arguing with someone, I can pretty much guarantee you I'm wrong.
All right. If you could change one area of the forum, which would you choose?
Probably I'm not a big fan of clubs, really. I think that they kind of separate the forum with cliques, so to speak. I've never been a huge fan of them, and you just have it ends up sometimes where you just have segregated groups of people that are all real close and they're not really hunky dory per se with everyone else. Kind of like Capsule Corp. I mean, they're definitely the most successful club in terms of posting, and they all got a little group of friends and everything, and they're all tight, which isn't necessarily a bad thing for them, but overall, I think it has a negative impact.
All right. You only joined the forum a few months ago, but in that time, you've become a well-known, slightly respected member, despite any joking that goes on in the IRC. And what would you do to attribute that?
Well, I don't know. I guess I try to be involved. I mean, I try to use the forum discussion area and the parliament section as much as I can to try to help out. And I guess, especially with staff members and elite members and legends that have been here a while, I'm sure that they, of all people, can respect anyone who puts forth any sort of suggestion to make the forum a better place. I guess that would be one reason.
It's interesting seeing what you've got to say about stuff. Do you still watch the Dragon Ball series?
Not really. I watch my favorite parts over. I've watched the episode where Goten meets Goku for the first time a million times over just because it's one of my favorite episodes. But in terms of comparing me to the rest of the forum, not even close.
All right. Well, who are your favorite and least favorite characters from Dragon Ball?
My favorite character is probably I like Dragon Ball Goku. Most people will agree that the Dragon Ball season was more of an adventure, whereas the Z section was more, or the Z series was more about power levels, etc., etc. I did like the Goku from Dragon Ball. My least favorite would probably be I guess it would probably be Nappa. I never really liked Nappa. I guess I'll just throw him in there. I mean, he was only in 2 or 3 episodes anyway, so it's not like he's very important.
Right. That pinging noise you're hearing in the background is Rogue pinging Cal. And Rogue's asking right now, when are you going to cosplay Dark Magician Girl?
When am I going to cosplay Dark Magician Girl? Wow. Unless I am ever blackmailed to, I probably won't.
Oh man, I think you should do it.
You think I could pull it off?
Oh yeah, you'd rock that too.
I'll write that down for my next con.
How do you take your eggs?
My eggs?
Yeah, your eggs.
Usually in an omelet. I like to
Yeah?
put, onions, broccoli, cheese, whatever else I have around in the kitchen in them.
Do you often have like a southern breakfast?
Yes, I do live in Southern America, which is pretty much known for grits, hash browns, biscuits, gravy every morning, and especially on Sundays I used to go. Our whole family went to my grandmother's house, and she would make breakfast for 15 or 20 of us, and that's pretty much what it was.
Right. For everyone listening, where do you work?
I don't work. I am a lazy college student.
Oh, you told me you work for Cha Cha.
I used to work for Cha Cha my
Oh
first
well,
semester in college.
well, you just ruined my whole like
Oh,
interview going on
yeah,
here. I mean,
a little
if you were here, I would actually punch you.
Cha Cha is I've told people this every time, so I guess here's another opportunity. Cha Cha is a great employer to have, especially if you're a college student. If you go Google Cha Cha careers online, and if you take a quiz, and if you pass the quiz, which the quiz is really hard, they go over a lot of the videos, and you have to pay attention pretty much, and you take a quiz over the videos you've watched and the really slight details. And if you pass the quiz, you can download the Firefox browser, and you get paid to answer questions over the internet. And you work whenever you want, and you get paid by however many questions you ask. So if you got a full day off and you're on the internet already, it's a good way to make 40, $50 in 6 or 7 hours if you don't have anything else to do.
All right. When you worked for Cha Cha, what was your favorite question that you got asked?
Oh, best questions. We have a lot of leniency if someone is trolling or if someone asks a question that obviously we can't answer. The question that we get more than anything is, does God exist, or where is God? And my response usually is, and this is horrible for some people, but I'm not a religious type or anything, but I usually say, this is God. Something around that kind of caliber, which, I mean, it's just a joke, because I mean, if they're seriously going to ask a random person over a text message who is God, I'm not expecting them to be very much serious anyway.
This is my favorite question to ask in interviews. If you're stranded on a desert island with three members of DBZF, who would you choose and why?
Two,
Three.
three, okay. I'd probably, honestly, I'd probably want Rogue there. Rogue is pretty much a command leader kind of type, and we would definitely need that. And probably Tim, and probably you. That way, me and Tim could talk about Hunter x Hunter. Me and you could talk about Naruto, and Rogue could tell us how stupid we are for talking about them.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good plan so far. Oh, I don't know if anyone has ever heard of James Lipton, who is listening to this right now. Them, not James Lipton. But I'm stealing a questionnaire from him. What is your favorite word?
My favorite word is swank, SWANK. It pretty much is a not very much used word that means cool, and I use it sometimes just to throw people off of what I'm talking about, just because I'm that bored of a person.
What is your least favorite word?
Like, I get tired of when I'm talking to people on the phone and they say like 100 times, like Cal, what's up? Like you want to go out? Like you want to do? I'm like, shut up.
What turns you on?
What turns me on?
Yeah. Think of it. Don't think of it in like a dirty sense.
Turns me on. Wow. I don't know. On such a short notice, a question like this, the only thing that even comes to my mind, which literally doesn't even pertain to the question in the right terms, is I cannot even remember her name. The girl from Orin High School Host Club. I used to have a major anime crush on her back when I first watched the series, because she was just so cool.
Right. What turns you off?
I'm not fond of the people that are really extreme. I'm just using this for an example. I don't mean this specifically, but I don't like the people that when you're driving down the road, you see signs that say honk if you love Jesus, stuff like that. Not just that, but extreme situations, period. You know what I mean?
What profession would you like to tempt?
I will be graduating in May, being a electronics technician, so I guess that's on up there. I've always wanted to. My original plan was to go to Japan or China and teach English as a foreign language, because I'm TEFL certified. But that's kind of My family wasn't really too happy about that when I said that because I would have to sign a contract and be gone to another country for a year. But down the road, if there's ever like a time when the electronic technician thing isn't working out, or I'm just not making much money, et cetera, et cetera, I would definitely love to go to China or Japan and teach English.
Right. Rebel X is asking, one, have you washed your hands?
Yes, I just got out of the shower like 2 minutes ago. We're right before this started.
Okay, and if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Oh my gosh, Akihabara in Japan for sure. It is the focal point of the anime and manga industry. It is. I have always wanted to visit there. As soon as I graduate college, I don't care how much money I have. I am buying a plane ticket there, and I'm going. I've always wanted to visit a maid cafe, which is where the waitresses are dressed as maids or they cosplay as anime characters. And I've just wanted to walk down the electronic capital of the world, which is in Tokyo. And that, when I think of that, I just get goosebumps because it's like that's where I belong. But somehow I ended up in Tennessee with a population of 4,000 people.
Rogue is asking, do you want to work in a maid cafe?
I don't. I don't. If that is the only way I can go, sign me up.
Okay, a deep question here. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I've seen worse, maybe.
Okay. Other than posting on the forum, how do you spend your free time?
Well, I go from I hate to say I live in three houses. That sounds horrible, but I have a house with my best friend in Lebanon. I have a house at my sister's in Gallatin. Y'all don't know where any of these cities are, and I also have my mom's house. And I go between the three and pretty much do whatever. When I go to my sister's house, me and her husband, we go fishing a lot. We have a little boat and a canoe, so we do that thing. When I'm at my roommate's house, Devin, which is where I am now, we usually go golfing. Sometimes we just go out for a walk. Whenever he gets back from his baseball practice in 30 minutes or so, we're probably going to go out to eat at a Japanese grill, so that should be pretty cool.
All right. Members of the forum come from all across the world. Are there any accents in particular that you enjoy hearing?
Oh, yeah. Along with probably the rest of the forum, I love hearing Tim's accent.
Yeah, I think everyone does.
Tim has a sexy accent. He truly does.
Okay. What is your perfect idea of a holiday?
If it's not in Japan, probably going. I went to Anaheim, California before, which is right beside Los Angeles. And I would love to go back, but I would want to go back with a friend because last time I went, I had to go with people in my club, which we are friends, but I mean like a close friend, maybe a girlfriend or something like that, just to have a special kind of week or something like that.
Okay, we're nearly done for everyone listening. We've only got two more questions left. If you could use one quote to sum up your life, what would it be?
If I could choose one what?
Quote. Like, to be or not to be.
One quote. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's probably a tie. I posted one the other day. It's an eye for an eye will leave the world blind, which I really think is true. And the other one is by William Holtz, and it's every day someone ordinary goes out into the world and does something extraordinary, and everyone starts out as ordinary, so do something extraordinary.
Very good quote. And lastly, give 10 shout-outs.
10 shout-outs?
Yeah.
First one definitely has to go to Tim. He's the reason why I'm even here. Second one's going to probably go to you because you've helped me a lot with my Naruto knowledge and introduced me to Naruto Arena, which is a great Flash game online. Third's probably going to go to Susan, who was really my first friend on the forum, or one of my first. He was a good guy to talk to and everything. I'm losing count here, so I'm just going to keep going for a few. Also, probably Rebel X, whatever you want to call him. He is probably the only person on this forum that I can have an intelligent conversation about when it comes to American football, and it's always great to have one of those around. We spend a lot of time in the donator section talking about NFL, so that's nice. Let's see here. Engineer. I really think Engineer is the most intelligent poster on the boards, so he's always someone to look up to. Well, I don't really want to forget anyone. I'll give one to Pooh Head. He's a pretty cool guy, and he did a good job with the podcast. Last shout out's going to go to Nesifix, because we have completely different opinions, but we always find a way to come to a compromise, which is great. Because I mean, we don't argue much on the boards, but we have private conversations and stuff about religion and science, and we've had some Skype calls and talked in private in the RC. So he's another shout out, and I guess that's my last one. And for everybody else, I probably love you. A few I hate, but that's good.
All right. Well, that's us done for the interview. So a big shout out to Rogue for recording this and working in the background and doing the stuff that nobody else wants to do, and probably isn't smart enough. So,
all right.
And thanks to Cal for being my guest. Hopefully we'll do this again.
Thanks for the interview, Mike.
So yeah, I think we're done.
All right. See ya.
See you later.